Hi, Emma.
Hi, Jonathan.
It's time for Cut
to the Case.
And look, this is part 2 of the case. Just remind us what the case was last time.
Answering an emergency buzzer,
Mhm.
finding a patient seizing.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
And it was seizure plus because they're actually in
seizure
complete
plus. He was profoundly bradycardic.
that's
you,
right.
you paced him up. But what I'm really interested in is how you managed to organise the team to get all those things done, to sort out what happened so efficiently. Because it sounds like you did it, within a few minutes.
Yeah.
Take me through your approach, Emma.
Well, I think thinking about what you might do when you walk into an unexpected situation and how to sort of set up your team. I think when you arrive, establishing yourself as team leader really comes with labeling what's going on. And often you don't have all that information, and that's okay.
Yeah.
But what I was seeing was an elderly man seizing.
Yeah. And so what you would say is, and often isn't it amazing how people don't usually say what they see? But I'm sure you walked in there and said, "Oh, we've got an elderly man fitting."
Yeah, and
so
that's
someone seizing.
I know it seems subtle, but it's really important to label because people mostly internally process, and it doesn't allow the team to share your mental model.
Yep.
So if you just bring yourself forward and try and externally process, I'm seeing an elderly man seizing. I think that helps everybody to be on the same page.
The other thing it does is it automatically puts you in a leadership position because you have just taken charge by just saying something.
That's
You've
right.
just said seizing patient, and automatically your team starts to relax a little bit. Go, oh yeah, this person knows what they're doing. Okay,
Good
so this
segue.
person's
You've
labelled.
mentioned teams. So there's actually a mnemonic that I follow called LEADS. So L is for label, elderly man fitting, and then E is for establishing your team. So you're starting to think about who have I got in the room that can help. And usually you're in this particular situation, actually, I was really lucky to have senior nursing staff who were able to assist me with monitoring and blood pressure, checking a blood sugar level in a seizing patient. And, that all happens automatically.
So it's really who's
they're
there?
great at their job.
Who's there? Sorry to cut you off. Who's there and what are they doing?
That's right.
Who have I got and what are they doing and what can I get them to do? And also then who's missing and what equipment's missing. So in that establishing team, who are the team members? Who else do I need to call for? So I need to send for extra help. And what other equipment might I need given this is a seizing patient?
Yeah.
So some things that come into mind straight away: an anti-epileptic, some medicine, some IV access, the IV trolley, those sort of things need to be in there. Maybe the doctor who knows the patient or someone who can tell us a bit of a story, those sort of things.
Well, so quickly we had 2 doctors available. It became apparent he didn't have IV access. So we were able to establish a team member to put in IV access and a team member to go to the airway. And so that was the initial team.
Yeah.
And also just voicing that out loud allowed everyone to know their role and responsibilities. Now, the next step was to make an assessment as to what was going on.
The part. And hopefully by then, someone can give you a bit more information, or
That's
there's
right.
something a little bit, someone might say, oh yeah, I've seen this guy, or we thought he might be having seizures. Oh, looks like he's bradycardic. So then you're acquiring data, which is the A in leads, and then you make an assessment, and then what do you do with it?
Well, in this particular case, it demonstrates what you do with it. So we had our airway doctor say he's got a patent protected airway, which was great, and he had some oxygen on. We had the IV access person saying, I've got a pulse, so that's great. So we knew that we weren't in an arrested situation. And, it became clear that he was bradycardic. So it actually refed back to our label. So we've got a seizing bradycardic patient. But then it allowed us to then direct, next steps. And the next steps really from our priorities point of view were to gain IV access, but we also had enough people volunteering what could also happen, which was putting on pacing and thinking about pacing as the next intervention.
One of the things I like to do at that point in leads when I'm making my assessment is think, what am I worried about? What's the key concern here? Oh, he's bradycardic, and that's why he's having the seizures. He's bradycardic. We need to speed him up. I need to speed him up. How am I going to do it?
So that's an example of you externally processing. And the advantage to the team is that they're aware of what you're thinking about, what you're worried about, and that sort of orientates everybody to be on the same page.
And then hopefully I'll start to get suggestions. Hey, we can give him some adrenaline to speed him up. oh no, I'm standing right next to the defib, which is a pacer, and we can pace him. Which one should I do next? So you're actually using the team to work for you.
Yeah.
So
And actually, that's exactly what happened. It was one of our nursing staff that popped the pacing pads on and said, "Why don't we do this?" And so we did.
And you did.
Yeah.
So what's the next thing? So there's leads, we've labeled, we've established the team, we've assessed, we've directed the team to do stuff. What's the S?
Well, then you supervise that's all occurring, but you also summarize and update the team. So you're doing these interventions. So you're starting pacing, and then you move back up to the top again, and you say, okay, so we've got a we've got a seizing patient who's bradycardic. We've started pacing. How are we going with our pacing? And then you go around to your team members and see where you're at.
And so you go back through again. And so then you can go, okay, we're pacing. Okay, and now we've got capture. That's all good. And you ask your team members, and then it'll be the next thing. So now we've got someone who was seizing. We're pacing. We've got capture. He's looking all right. He's waking up. What am I concerned about next? More, my next concern is how are we going to definitively manage him? So this is going to be a case for internal pacing, going to the cath lab, that kind of thing. How am I going to achieve it? And so on and so forth.
Now, sometimes you walk into a situation and you won't know what's going on, and that's okay too. And I think to express that in your label is okay, but you kind of get a theme. So, for example, you might walk in and see a very unwell patient and you're not sure what's wrong, but even stating that is really important.
So basically you go, oh, this person looks really unwell.
Really unwell.
I'm really unworried.
Yeah,
I'm really worried that this person might even be just about to arrest.
Yeah.
You know, that's how it looks to me.
It might be a patient who is profoundly hypotensive and you don't know what's going on. So you're saying, I'm really worried. I've got a profoundly hypotensive patient. And then you're moving on to establishing your team assessment. It might be that you've got an arrested patient. And so you might say something along the lines of, I've got a arrested patient in a non-shockable rhythm. And then you run through your team.
It's such a powerful technique to label, because things just flow after that. And actually, if you label stuff, your team will often act autonomously and just do things, especially if it's an arrest. And that works well. So that's leads. So beautiful, Emma. So let's try it next time. Next time you walk in on something, label, establish the team, assess the patient, direct the team members, and
supervise, and then summarize and update your team.
And then go back to the top and label again.
Yeah, good.
Great.
All right.
Okay.
Thanks, Jonathan.
Thanks, guys.
Ciao.
See ya.